You're listening to the Zone Coverage Football Show, where opinions, passion, and pride are always on the line. Live from Tees Towers, here's your host, Mark Tees.
Hello, and welcome along to the Zone Coverage Football Show. It is Sunday, the 21st of December. Just 4 more days until that fat guy tries to squeeze down the chimney. Anyway, hope everyone is very well wherever you are and that you are checking out the show via the TuneIn and Spreaker apps. Talking of the Spreaker app, mention it every single week, but by now you should know. You should know the drill by now. There's that little chat room in the far corner. Just hit up the show if you want to interact with me as we go. That would be absolutely fantastic. Again, if you are typing away questions and stuff on there, I'll try and answer them on air. Typing, talking, just basically multitasking. It's not one of my strong points, as regular listeners can probably testify to, in fairness. And if you want to listen back, you can do that as well. You can find us on iTunes and what's that other one called? Called Stitcher. Just go to there, search Zone Coverage Football Show, give us a subscription, give us some feedback. That'd be much appreciated as well. And another thing, I dropped another show on Wednesday, it was, episode 21. Yeah, if you've missed it, get back, give it a listen. I noticed I was just rambling utter nonsense for like 90 minutes on a Sunday, so I thought we never really touch on what happened last week in the games there. So I thought I'd give it a little try, see if I've got time for doing it with my busy schedule, and if anyone had listened. So I do believe a couple of people did check it out, and the feedback from that was generally positive. If you've not checked it out, I'm going to do another one this Wednesday. That'll be Christmas Eve, so pack the missus off shopping, do all that sort of nonsense, sedate the kids with chocolate and quite possibly, what's that stupid Disney film that everyone likes? Well, whatever, just whack some cartoons on and I'll be live on Wednesday. We'll get to that in a bit. So just go back, find that old show. That is done and dusted. I'm flustered. A flustered opening. You know why? I've just watched the very, very last episode of Sons of Anarchy. And I won't ruin it in case you've not seen it. But yeah, very, very sad that show's come to an end. One of my favourite shows. And I'm flustered by it. And I'm still sort of absorbing that. And like 20 minutes later, just grabbed a brew, jumped on air, and I'm rambling utter crap. But hey-oh, it's just another usual Sunday on the Zone Coverage Football Show, so it can't be bad. Right then, what I've got coming up on today's show, what am I going to do? Yeah, going to do the hot route in a minute. I'm going to talk about basically quarterback regression. So I found a few interesting stats, and the stats don't read as bad as what you're used to seeing visually from these quarterbacks. So I'll go through that in a moment. We got the NFL news. I won't lie, did not check any news yesterday. Today I've been out and about and stuff and watching Sons of Anarchy and sitting on my rear end and enjoying my holidays. I'm off till the new year, so apologies there. The weekend words, got a few quotes as well. We'll go through that. The love line does return. I've been that lazy that I forgot to message Simon from @Dundee NFL. So fingers crossed we do have some Fantasy 5 at 5. I was talking to Tom this past week as well, so we'll have some last minute news around about 5:20, something like that. Game previews again, started doing that last week, so I've been writing a few bits and notes and that down, so we'll get to that as we go. Last night's game was the ultimate curveball / relationship test for the majority of us with them putting 2 games on. I failed that test. Not seeing any of the games there, but I do have them on the planner to watch as we go. So I'm going to try and fit them in the week. And basically, Monday's just going to be pigskin day 2 for me. I'll just watch every game back then. So right then. Well, what have we got now? Have we done all this nonsense at the top? Twitter. Yeah, hit me up on Twitter, Zone Coverage FS. You'll find us on Facebook. Get to the website as well. It's all new and snazzy and been done up, and it looks a hell of a lot better than it was. It's far more professional than what I am. I need a rallying cry here. I have got it's Jets Pats today. Yeah, basically a beatdown, but it won't be because it's Rex Ryan's last home game. I've got a Pats fan lined up. Charlie, he was on a few weeks ago, so I need a Jets fan to come and answer here, basically. You got 25 minutes. So if you want to be on the fan versus fan, I said to Charlie it'd be embarrassing if I'm on as the Jets fan and I win because I can't ring myself. It'd be I'd have that awkward moment. So if I can get another Jets fan on and I can ring them, that'd be fantastic. So if you want to be on, hit me up on Twitter's going to be the best way. Or if you're in the Spreaker room, you need to be on Skype though. And my Skype is Teecemister. That's TEECE Mister. Teecemister. Easy. The number for the show. Let's get that going. 0161 818 4593. Phone lines are open. Twitter's open. Spreaker's open. Let's get to it. Let's jump into, what shall we do? We'll do the hot route. Let's get into that.
You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it. That's the great thing about sports. You play to win. And I don't care if you don't have any wins. You go play to win. When you start telling me it doesn't matter, then retire. Get out.
And that is Herm Edwards. They're having a little bit of a rant. And I'm hoping that today's subject will inspire someone to have a little rant with me and stuff, and we'll just chew the fat and talk utter nonsense about quarterback regression. The question of the day / hot route, whatever you want to call it, is who's regressed more this season in your eyes? Is it RG3, Jay Cutler, or Colin Kaepernick? And we had two of these quarterbacks on show last night. If you have a stronger man card than me and you stayed up and watched those games, insight please. So who's regressed more? And you could maybe just throw another few quarterbacks, whoever you think's been bad that maybe are missing off that list, or maybe someone that's performed better than what we expected. Ryan Tannehill, maybe, for example, he seems to have been better than he was last year, making nice progress. So I was looking at this and I thought, well, let's dig into like the numbers on these guys, and is it as bad as what we've seen visually? And I was looking at Colin Kaepernick first. I looked at his completion percentage from 2013. He was completing 59.4% of his throws. Totaled up 3,197 yards, 21 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and 3 fumbles. Quarterback rating, that's the one that everyone seems to cling to. The quarterback rating, 68.6. And then this year, until last night's game, I've not updated it since then. He's completed 60.5% of his passes, so it's only really that's a 1% improvement. 3,051 yards, that is without last night's game. 16 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. His interceptions have gone up slightly. His fumbles have come down by 1, so he's only got 2, unless he did one last night. And his quarterback rating, that seems to have plummeted to 49.7. So looking at the numbers, it's hard to really say, yeah, he has, but I think it's more of the eyeball testers. It's like, oh, he makes one read. Oh, I'm not sure if it's there. Yeah, I'm just winging it anyway. He doesn't seem to progress through his progressions and his reads and his checkdowns. So that's maybe the knock on Kaepernick there. Same with RG3. I looked at his stats. Obviously, we've got this fantastic rookie year. He's completing 65.6% of his passes, through for 3,200 yards, 20 TDs, just the 5 picks, 3 fumbles. His quarterback rating was 73.2 that year. One of the best rookie seasons we'd ever seen. So he was never going to sort of follow that up, in fairness. So there was a slight regression last year. His completion percentage was down 5% to 60.1. He threw for 3 yards more, 16 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. So 7 interceptions more than normal. And I think what killed him as well was that his fumbles doubled. He went from 3 to 6 that year, and his quarterback rating dropped from 73.2 down to 40.1. So obviously some regression there, coming off an injury. You can maybe cut him a bit of slack, but I think again it was more the eyeball test. What you were seeing, he didn't look right. On to this year, his completion percentage, granted, not played as many games, so it's maybe a false reading, but that's up to 69.3, again before last night's game. It's only thrown for just over 1,100 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 picks, 4 fumbles, again all before last night's game. And his quarterback rating, I think this must be what everyone gets carried away with, because that was only 25.5. So maybe that's what everyone's sort of clinging to. And the box score, and I think the box score scares people off at times. I think you just see that and you get that sort of like false report. On then to Jay Cutler, who's been the subject of much news and headlines over the course of the past few days, weeks after that implosion the other day. Went back to 2012, he was completing 58.8% of his passes, 3,000 yards just over, 19 touchdowns, 14 picks, 7 fumbles, quarterback rating 50.2. And then in 2013, his completion percentage went up. Spoiler alert, it went up again this year, but in 2013 it was 63.1. This year, 66.1% of his passes is completed. He's also thrown 3,640 yards already this season. That is more than his previous 2 years. He's got 28 touchdowns this year. That's more than his previous 2 years. But the killer, 18 picks, 9 fumbles. So again, I think it's the fumbles that kill him. His fumbles are double and some from 2013. His quarterback rating is 55 on the year. So again, who's regressed more this year? Is there someone I'm missing off this list? What are your thoughts on it? Is it a system thing? Is it? I can't be the weapons for some of these guys. They've got some of the best sort of weapons going. Is it a confidence thing? What is it? Is anyone seeing something there? What's jumping out to you guys? So that is this week's Hot Route. So if you want to call in, chat about that, or just anything else that's caught your attention over the course of the last 7 days in the wonderful world of pigskin, feel free to do so. The number 0161 818 4593, or hit me up on Skype at tsmister. And that'd be damn awesome if you could do that. I'm just going to check in now on Twitter because, as always, the first one ever to contact the show without fail every Sunday is Will Davies. He says, "Afternoon, Mr. Teese, and Merry Christmas all. Great midweek pod, plus good luck to anyone in the Fantasy Championship game today." So, yeah. Will Davies, and very Merry Christmas to you, sir, and to everyone that is tuning in today. I failed epically today. I should have had some sort of like Santa noise or sort of sleigh bells jingling in the background. I'll grab a carrot out the fridge if you want and chew that on air, but I don't think that'd go down too well. Fantasy Championships, we won't mention the fact that the two I'm in 5. 3 I've been absolutely woeful in, but I'm in the final of 2 of them. So worst of luck to my fellow contenders today. That is Rocket Ron. I play you in one league, and I play Tony Peckham in another league. So may the best man win. And I will let you guys know, if I win both of those, you're never going to hear the end of it. So that's that aside. Everyone else, good luck and all the best in that. So let's get into some NFL news, shall we? NFL news. Right then, going back 7 days, obviously, a week's news has gone by. DeMarco Murray had surgery on his left hand, suffered that injury in last Sunday's victory over the Eagles. Also, Mark Sanchez, being Mark Sanchez, the Eagles had a chance to turn, their chance actually to turn back to Foles was sort of derailed last week. I know it's old news with the game last night, but it's news on Nick Foles. He didn't receive medical clearance on his collarbone, hence another Mark Sanchez game, basically. Broncos linebacker Danny Trevathan, his return to the team was short-lived after he was placed on IR for the rest of the season. He picked up a knee injury in that win over the Chargers last Sunday. Cardinals head coach Bruce Arians announced on Monday night that Ryan Lindley will start at quarterback today against the Seattle Seahawks, and that is a game that's going to be an epic game today. I'm really looking forward to that one. So, Cardinals fans, what are your thoughts on that one? Can you hold off the mighty Seahawks at home? Seahawks road record isn't the best. I think it might be it's either 3-4 or 4-3, and I know that the Cardinals have yet to taste defeat at home, so that should be an epic, a really fantastic game. Stop saying epic, you moron. Anyway, on to the next bit of news. Oh, you'll never guess who's landed on IR in Tennessee. Oh, point for everyone. Jake Locker, the man made of glass, quite possibly has the weakest weaker ribs than Michael Vick, but he didn't do his ribs in, so why did I even say that? Because he's done his shoulder in. Yes, he will have surgery on a dislocated shoulder. That he picked that up in last Sunday's toilet bowl. against the mighty Jets, which they nearly imploded on the very last play and nearly lost that game. So that is that. The Texans, they've had their own misery at the quarterback position this year. They signed Case Keenum after Ryan Fitzpatrick broke his ankle, and Tom Savage was Tom Savage, basically. And I've also heard that Tom Savage is injured. And the Texans have this quite bizarre decision to make. Case Keenum, or I do believe it's possibly Thad Lewis. All the best, Texans, today. Moving on then, the 49ers have released defensive end Ray McDonald as he's been investigated by the San Jose Police Department for a possible sexual assault. This is the second time that McDonald has been involved with the law, as he was arrested back in August on a domestic violence charge, but that was later thrown out due to lack of evidence. So 49ers and McDonald there have parted ways. On talking of the 49ers, I should say, Jim Harbaugh, he got offered a 6-year contract believed to be worth around about $48 million to be the new coach at Michigan. Will he take that? We're waiting to see, in fairness, but why is this getting leaked? Is his agent driving up the price? $48 million? That's nearly swore then. A lot of money. Let's put it that way. That'll get a lot of Christmas presents. The Chicago Bears, talking of iffy quarterbacks, it seems clearly a theme today. Jay Cutler, he's been benched in favour of Jimmy Clausen. Cutler leads the leagues in turnovers, 24, contract of $15 million due next year. So whoever trades for him or whatever, I really don't know how they're going to work all this out, but it basically means that the Bears could be without Cutler and a big dent in their cap. It's a pretty messed up situation over there in Chicago, in fairness. Patriots, they've placed rookie Dominic Easley on IR with a knee issue. The Redskins, Colt McCoy, he's also landed on IR after his neck issue flared up again last week. The Jags, they signed defensive tackle Roy Miller to a 4-year, $16.25 million contract. Have you ever noticed with these contracts, always like $16.5 million, $16.25? I'd be random and say I want $9.32675 million, just so it's a mouthful for idiots like me. Anyway, as people are being placed on IR, here's another one. Ravens running back Lorenzo Taliaferro, he's been placed on IR with a foot issue. And also Vikings rookie linebacker Anthony Barr, he's to have surgery on his knee. A few contracts signed over the course of the last few days as well for the Seahawks. Locked up a pair of their guys this week. First was KJ Wright. He signed a 4-year extension, $27 million contract. And then I believe it was Friday that Cliff Averill signed a 4-year extension worth $28.5 million. Again, a nice round number. $28.5 million contract with $16 million guaranteed. So that is your news this week. I do believe I've probably missed out a shed load, to be fair, the last day or two. But it's one of them. Santa's coming. It's busy. There's food to be at. There's I need to work on that Homer Simpson style bum print in the chair. It's been lacking because I've been working too hard over the course of the last 6 months, in fairness. So it's coming along nicely, I will say. It's just there now. Back to how it was. On then to the weekend words. We do have, what we got coming up? We're going to have, the fan versus fan. Charlie, I'm just going to ring you, it's looking like at this rate, and I'm going to have to pit my wits against you in this week's fan versus fan. It's going to be different, but hey-ho, one of them things. Am I going to be able to toss a cut? Yeah, I'll just be able to do it. I'll figure it out, don't worry. On then to the weekend words. Rex Ryan, perfect segue. He had this on the Jets missing out. I had this to say, I should say, on the Jets potentially missing out on the overall number 1 pick following last Sunday's victory. Yeah, this is via ESPN.com. He says, tough, you know what? Real Jets fans want to win. It doesn't matter what you pick, what pick you get or whatever. If it were Peyton Manning out there, I could understand it, but I don't think Peyton Manning is out there. But either way, you know what? We're going to fight every game. We're going to fight next week too against the New England. and we're looking forward to it. Jets fans want to win. Are you kidding me? So Rex was quite adamant there that basically the Jets fans wanting to lose weren't sort of Jets fans. So, well, strong words from Rex. What do people think? What does everyone feel on that? Let's move on then to former NFL cornerback Eric Davis was absolutely hammering the Cleveland Browns decision to go with Manziel after last Sunday's game against the Bengals. This was on a segment on NFL AM during the week. Mike Pettine's decision to put him in is one of the worst coaching decisions of the last decade. You have a team that you said you put another guy in, Hoyer, in place because he was the guy that gave you the best chance to win. Your team is still in the hunt for a playoff spot, and you decide because of his play that okay now, as opposed to coaching this guy up, you said you gave him the best chance. You're going to blame it on him, pull him out, and put this guy in. Well, this makes no sense. Eric Davis, by the way. Anyway, Eric Davis was having a rant on that decision, which sort of, I mentioned this on Wednesday's show. Everyone was screaming it was time to pull Hoyer. Everyone, every man and the dog, myself included, who's not really a massive Manziel fan, would have played Manziel. And because it backfired, you've got these people now going up on the high pedestal saying, yeah, what an awful, awful decision that was. I would have never have done it. You're talking out your rear end. You would have done it. Eric Davis, wind your neck in and stop just making stupid headlines for no reason. Utter nonsense. On then to Patriots cornerback. Oh, kills me to say that. Patriots cornerback Darrelle Revis on the Dolphins running their mouths ahead of last Sunday's clash. He says there was a lot of talk. Those guys were chirping. They were chirping all week about how they should have beat us by 50 and all those types of things during the first games. That's what they do. That's what they want to do. The one thing you've got to understand is that you get a second stab at it because we're in the same division. You might need to watch what you say. So Revis there firing back at those Dolphins players that were running their mouths ahead of last Sunday's clash, and that was via a CSN report in New England. I thought it was best to just collect a few what's the word I'm after? Source, where it came from, just in case people decided that I'm not allowed to say that without quoting where it's come from. Let's move on. The Bills, Buffalo Bills, on their expectations ahead of last Sunday's game against the Packers. Safety Aaron Williams, he said, this is via the Buffalo News, he says, well, we expected to shut them down. We went up against the Hall of Famer last week. Why wouldn't we do this again this week? And then corner Nicky Roby, he said, we expected it. I know everyone else is shocked and surprised, but we spoke of this at the beginning of the week. We knew it wasn't going to be we knew that I can't speak now. We knew it wasn't going to be easy for them tonight. No, sorry, that's wrong. We knew it wasn't going to be as easy as they thought. Woohoo! He didn't do the woohoo at the end, that was me. Bears running back Matt Forte on the situation in Chicago. I'm here to play football and to be coached and be coachable. Whatever happens, happens. I will do my best to learn and what I need to do in the classroom and go out and display that on the field. So, short but sweet from Matt Forte, but he's just willing to look, I'm just here to play ball, leave me be. That was via ESPN Chicago. Let's check in on Twitter. Ron's answering back to my little gloat earlier. He's saying, hope you win your 2 fantasy finals or not. Hashtag commissioner is all powerful. Yeah, it's quite. I'm getting stick because I'm commissioner in 2 leagues. I'm in the final of them both. There's no foul play going on. I wasn't the one doing iffy trades. Collusion. I'm putting that out there. Collusion was sort of happening. No, it wasn't. There was no collusion. I just planted a seed because I got bored one day and the messages just flooded. But that's a whole different story for another day. A lot of rambling today for myself. That Sons of Anarchy finale has just thrown me. Here we go. Robert at RobertW_97. Rob's been a regular on the show the last few weeks, so I appreciate once again Robert for tweeting in to the show at Zone Coverage FS. He says, still think Manziel is the right choice. As a person, I'm not keen, but having watched him at Texas A&M, he's a quality quarterback. So, I do believe that the Browns are sticking with Manziel going forward. So, it's the right decision. You've got to see what he's got. See what happens. There's no point in putting Hoyer back in. Just crazy. And Ron's back again. He says, I started Manziel in his fantasy semi-final and still won. So he's not in the team. Fair enough. Taylor at the _Equinox. I thought Manziel was a bad decision. Had Cincinnati as my top play in the newsletter. It's unfortunate that is, Taylor. So keep those tweets coming in, guys, at Zone Coverage FS. The Spreaker chat room is relatively quiet this week. And when I say relatively quiet, I mean no one's been in there at this moment in time. We shall pause for one brief moment while I collect my thoughts. What else do we have coming on the show? Fantasy 5 at 5, I do hope is going to happen in the next 35 minutes. I'm going to go through the game previews. Just scroll down my notes to see that I forgot to put in the standings and the playoff thing. So fingers crossed I can dial up a web page and the whole show doesn't come crashing to a catastrophic end. Although with the rambling that's been forthcoming today, that wouldn't be such a bad thing in fairness. Right then, let's just check in on... My phone's beeped. I had a new phone this week as well. I'm switching from the Apple market to the Android market, and it's driving me absolutely insane. It's just a message from Free. I thought it might have been something important. Never mind. Anyway, back to the show. Let's get on. We have a phone call. Excellent. Someone's digging me out of a hole. Hello.
Good afternoon, Commissioner. Tony Peckham here.
Tony, how the hell are you, sir?
I'm all right. Yourself?
I'm very well, mate. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you and the family. I hope everything's good in your world.
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Everything good your end?
Yeah, all good. Yeah, gin's not flowing yet, but it will be later.
Don't blame me.
I thought I'd ring in because, two reasons. First reason, you've been very quiet on Twitter.
I know I have.
There's been some stuff flying around, and I'm sure you're watching it all.
I am. I'm like...
It's making me nervous.
In what respect?
Well, I mean, I suppose we should say for your listeners, obviously, from your other podcast, that I am one of the people you are playing in the final tonight.
Yeah.
And obviously, you've been very quiet about it. We've been having a little bit of banter, but you've been sitting on the sideline, and that's making me nervous.
Well, it's what it is I'm just collecting data and information, and if I win, I am firing shots all day long.
I thought you were, but I was listening. I was just listening in. I'm pottering around the kitchen, and I thought I've got to ring in and just make sure, nothing underhand going on.
Oh, there's nothing underhand. I am watching everyone's every move on Twitter, so I wouldn't worry about that. And in fairness,
that's good to hear.
Yeah, I have been busy. That work for me has been a lockdown, sure. So that's a pain in the rear end. In fairness, but yeah, I'm hoping to be a bit more interactive with Twitter whilst I'm off over the next few weeks, so I can take that bit of flack that's coming my way and hopefully give a little out as we go.
Oh, I don't know. Isn't it he who laughs loudest or something? Isn't
yeah,
it?
So they say. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way that I look at it. So, no, I just thought I'd let you know. I'm watching.
You're watching. So
I'm watching. Yeah.
Your paranoia's come to that much.
Yeah,
of
totally. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I'm all sorts. I'm pacing around the front room now. It's all getting a bit too much for me, to be honest with you.
So it's like, what would this be now then? And there's some weird mind games going on then.
yeah, like Alex Ferguson type mind games. Yeah, I know. I've turned into Wenger. I've gone nuts.
Oh dear.
I won't go out today until I know the result. But I thought I would wish you or ring in to wish you well for the good luck and all that.
That's very honourable of you. I do appreciate that. Thank you.
Now it's Ron's turn to ring in as well for the other match as well.
Ron's probably there just cursing you now, saying you're weak, you caved into the paranoia.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, soft southerner. Yeah.
Oh dear. Anything else I can do then for?
Big game tonight.
Yeah, big game. Yeah,
big game tonight. Any thoughts on what might happen? I've got a sneaking suspicion we'll take it to them, I reckon, tonight. Jets, Patriots, we'll take it to them.
That is my feeling as well, mainly just because it's Rex's last home game.
Yeah.
If they can't get up for this one, I'm not saying it's a nail-on win, but I think it'll be very, very competitive, and I'll be happy at that.
Yeah, likewise. I'd like to see us go out with a bang, even if we crash and burn. I mean, obviously, you know that I work with a die-hard Patriots fan, and we have a large slab of chocolate on this twice a year when we play them away and when they play us at home.
Yes, the infamous chocolate
there's a
bowl.
lot to pay. This isn't just about pride. This is about chocolate. So, and to be honest with you, I think we won once last year, and I've just forked out for chocolate for about the last 3-4 seasons. So this year, I've got to get one.
At least one. At least one big bar of chocolate.
I've got to get one. And he is on annual leave tomorrow as well, which makes me think maybe he's nervous.
Yeah, but this is it. It's either that or he's stocking up on cheap chocolate for you.
yeah, I doubt it.
Oh,
but,
brilliant.
I'd like to see us go out with a bit of a bang. I don't know. I'm less confident about the game next week at Miami, to be honest with you, because they got a couple of scores to settle, because obviously we stopped them from going in the playoffs last year. So maybe they've got a score to settle at home. But I'd just love to see us. I don't know, maybe I'm thinking Patriots have wrapped it up, they've won the division, they're cruising. Maybe they might take their foot off the gas.
Yeah,
but it is a grudge match, so
fingers crossed. You never know. You'd never seem to get that of late. They've been close competitions, games of late, so we never know. We might get a decent spectacle as long as it doesn't get out of hand early. Well,
this is it. You never know. And I suppose the final question to you is: who do you think will take the honours in February time? Then who's taking your eye?
I had this conversation with Marty the other week, sort of out of the usual suspects. I did say I fancied the Ravens to sort of like maybe just out of the blue team if I had to pick one. But in all honesty, that Seahawks defense of late really looks just mind-blowingly good. The Packers,
coming good at just the right time of the season as well.
Yeah,
I thought they might be dead in the water at the beginning, because I think there was one point where if the season had ended on the Monday or something, they would have been out of it. But they've started turning it on again, haven't they? So
yeah, the Seahawks look very good. Also, the Packers offensively, minus last Sunday's game against the Bills, which I think the Bills deserve all the credit in the world for that.
Absolutely, I watched that this morning. Actually, it looked fantastic. Or defense was incredible.
Very, very, very good. If you give the Bills and the Rams a quarterback, and make this NFL a hell of a lot more interesting than it is.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Ruffle some feathers
I agree
there.
with you. And I've got to go, because I've got the Bills' defence tonight in the big match, mate. So, I'm hoping they turn that on again. You know what'll happen? They'll collapse tonight.
Fingers crossed as I'm going against
job
you.
Last week, it'll all go completely tits up tonight. I can see it happening. But the other thing I was going to also say as well is that the coverage that I was watching, they were talking about most valuable player of the season, and obviously you've got the usual suspects, but JJ Watt is just incredible this season.
Oh, I'm with you on that one. I've pretty much crowned him that the other week.
I think he should get it.
He should do. The quarterbacks, they get way too much praise and way too much glory. And I know on the flip side,
isn't it?
On the flip side of that, they do get absolutely hammered when it does go wrong. Emphasis on like Jay Cutler, RG3, and our very own Gino.
Of course.
It is brutal for him. But yeah, I do think why not just think outside the box? It's not really thinking outside the box.
No, not at all. I
just
think
give it
him. Nailed on if it were me. But if I were Roger Goodsell, it would be me. But I would nail him on.
I'm with you in that. And I also don't like the thought at times that maybe if your team's got a losing record that you shouldn't get it. I don't believe in that.
He's even played sort of on the offense as well at some point.
He's caught a couple of touchdowns.
Incredible. I think they showed some footage of the game that he was in earlier in the week, and I can't remember. I think it might have even been the Bengals. And they were on the sideline looking at one another. They played him in offence. He got a touchdown. And they were absolutely stunned. I mean, this guy's so versatile. It would be a travesty if he didn't get it this year, I think. But there you go.
Well, he's going to get defensive MVP without a shadow of a doubt. Just give it to him and just stop the nonsense. Stop overpraising. I do get that Aaron Rodgers is having quite possibly one of the best seasons from a quarterback we've seen as well. I respect that. But let's just go different. Why not give it Watt? Just mix things up.
Yeah, and he comes across as being a real sportsman as well, because a couple of the sacks they've sort of closed up on, he's absolutely nailed the quarterback. That's his job. But then he'll get up, he'll give him a pat, and there's no sort of like real aggression afterwards. And I like that. There's a real sportsman about him, and I've got to tip my hat to him.
Did you see that thing in the news that a young kid, a 7-year-old, had sent something to JJ Watt? That was
so
fantastic.
I saw it off of something that you posted, yeah.
Yeah, and he tweeted it out, didn't he? I forget the young lad's name. I'll try and find a link, but he was a 7-year-old kid, and his friends call him JJ as well, and he sent his, shirt that he plays in, he'd signed it and then sent it to JJ Watt with a letter, and Watt had taken pictures and tweeted it out there, and I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, brilliant, because at the end of the day, you can't forget your fans, can you?
No, it was really good. So
yeah, it was. Yeah. So there you go. That's the bromance for the year for me, anyway. So old JJ, good luck to him. Hope he wins it.
Yeah.
And that was it, really. It was just a quick call, just to let you know. I'm getting nervous.
Yeah,
and your silence is scaring me a little bit, but let's see.
We will, mate. And Ron has actually tweeted in. He says, Tony the legend, give the commish some stick.
Good old Ron.
Good old Ron, yes.
You can't beat it. So, so I wish you luck tonight in our match, and also Ron and you in your League One game. Can I get a promotion next year?
A promotion? What to?
Into League One of the Jetcom podcast.
If someone
League.
Well, there's no 1 and 2. It's just that they filled up. Yeah,
now, I reckon.
We'll figure it out. We can boot someone out. We'll vote someone out.
That's all I want. It'll go completely wrong next year, but there you go. But I thought I'd bring in. Wish you well. Merry Christmas to you. Keep doing the good work, mate, and hope to talk to you in the new year.
Yeah, I will echo what Ron said. Tony, sir, you are a legend. Appreciate the call. All the best to you and your family too, mate.
And to yours as well. Thanks, mate.
Appreciate the call, buddy. Take care.
See ya. Bye now.
Brilliant. Thank you, bye. And that is our good old friend Tony Peckham there. He's a legend as Tony in his own right. Bit of in-jokes going in there that probably you guys maybe not relate to, but a bit of stick that I'm getting. I would imagine that you've been doing that in your respective fantasy leagues as well. So nice to catch up with Tony there. Shall we get into... Let's see if we can get Charlie on the line, and I'm going to have to take the role of fan versus fan. I think we're just going to talk some nonsense and fairness, have a bit of a going back and forth. If I can just remember, Charlie Andrews, here he is. So Charlie, fingers crossed we can get him on the phone now. If he answers, that is. Is he running scared ahead of tonight? We shall see.
Hi, Mark.
Hey, Charlie.
How are you, matey?
I am very well, sir. How are you?
Yeah, hanging in there.
Good, man. So, if you are new to the show, Charlie joined us, when was this now? About 5-6 weeks ago?
Oh, yeah, it was, a good couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, you have moved from Boston over to the good old UK and are enjoying the fantastic weather, if memory serves me correct.
Oh, yeah, loving it.
So, how have you been since we last spoke? How's life been treating you?
Yeah, fine. We've been on a winning streak. I'm not complaining.
No, I can't imagine. We've been on the flip side of that.
That's what I sent you the message the other day.
I know, yeah. There's probably a few, well, I would imagine the majority of people don't know about that, but every Monday or just randomly during the week, I get a little message from you. I think the last one was Jets just to end the season.
Yep.
So, to be fair, mate, I have really... I've enjoyed them, in fairness. I'm just looking back now for them, just see the last one was the game last week. Can you handle the high-scoring game? Or are you looking forward to the toilet bowl?
yeah, I come out with all these little things.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it, to be fair, mate. It's good banter.
It is. That's what I like to. I do it with one of my friends, unfortunately, is one of my very good friends is a Redskins supporter. So that's like you guys. That's shooting fish in a barrel.
Oh,
right now.
I was going to say, so you've been lapping it up this year then?
I have. I've been loving every minute of it.
Oh, nice. Fingers crossed we can flip those roles when Mr. Brady decides to hang up them Uggs.
Yeah, well, we'll see. But I was impressed with Mr. Garoppolo last week as well. So.
Yeah. How have you seen that developing? Do you think you're not just going to transition straight from one to the other seamlessly like the Colts have done from Manning to Luck? Is it going to be that easy?
Yeah, but, he was our first draft choice this year, and he seems to be worth it. So, I'm very impressed with what I've seen with him so far, and you really don't get to see a lot of the new, drafted guys play a lot of reps, but he's been doing well when he's been going in.
Cool. Ah, that's good.
And I was also very, very impressed with him preseason. So
yeah, because he looked okay, didn't he? Did he come in?
He needs work, and Brady's taking him under his wing.
Yeah, because he played in the Chiefs game as well, and I know it was maybe garbage time touchdown, but he looked efficient then as well.
Yes, he has. So, it's good, and it's going to be tough this week because we don't have LeGarrette Blount. We don't have Julian Edelman this week. We don't have Kyle Arrington this week. They're all out injured.
Ah, that's good then, because I'm glad that you haven't got Blount.
Yeah, because in New England, the Blount smokes you.
Yes. Nice. I set myself up for that one, didn't I?
Well, it's always a good one. That's why I hated it when they got rid of him, because I had it on a T-shirt. I was happy when they come back. So
brilliant. I don't know how we're going to work this then. Shall we just have the 2 minutes apiece sort of reel off some stuff, or we can just chit-chat and let people vote and whatever you want?
We can just chit-chat.
Oh, that's cool then. We'll just talk about the fond memories. And in fairness then, with this rivalry, do you think it'll be lacking somewhat if Rex goes then?
No, because Rex has got a big mouth, but I'll tell you about that in a minute.
Fair enough. You're not a fan of Rex? I would imagine he's one of them coaches. For me, if he is your coach, you sort of warm to him and think, yeah, he's got our back. But as an outsider, I imagine he drives you insane.
He's got a mouth, and he always writes checks with his mouth that his body can't cash.
Yeah,
so.
that is one of his fatal flaws.
I think after the game tonight, he should kneel down and kiss Belichick's Super Bowl rings because it's the closest he'll ever get to one.
Oh, it's just fighting talk.
Yeah, so, stuff like that you got to think about.
Yeah.
So who am I doing this with you?
Yeah, it looks like it's me and you. I did put out a rallying call. I will try again. If anyone wants to take on Charlie, he's on the line now. Just give me a quick message and we'll get you on Skype. That's not a problem.
No, that's fun. It's all fun. That's why I like chatting with you, because you're one of the few English people that know what you're talking about.
Oh, that's debatable.
No, you are. You are. There was one guy the other day, I said, I can explain to you the basics of American football in 5 minutes. And he's like, impossible. I said, no, it's not. And I explained it to him, and he was shocked how quickly he got it.
Oh, that's always good. Always a handy tool to have, because I start off at times and people go, I'm already lost.
Yeah.
Or, actually, before you even get started, it's like, it's the stop-start thing. And then, as soon as I hear that, I just become uninterested in telling them.
Right. But I said, hey, I've, gone to English football, and I thought the crowd was cheering, but I realized they were all just yawning in unison. So...
Yeah, it's definitely an acquired taste. It's becoming more and more popular over this side of the pond, so that's always a good thing.
Yeah. So I'd love to play again, but that's not going to happen.
Oh, interesting. Let's talk about playing days then. What position?
I was a center.
Really?
When I was the tallest one.
Wow. How long did you play for?
Oh, just through high school.
Just through high school and that?
Yeah, I didn't do college. My college didn't even have a football team. And then from there on in was an armchair quarterback.
Out of curiosity then, because we have like amateur leagues throughout the country, is there nothing like that over then in the States? Oh,
there is, but you got to realize I stopped growing and everybody else continued.
Ah, right.
You don't find many centers that are 5'7", and about 185 pounds is just not going to happen.
No, not at all. No.
I've come to the realization that no. I'm shorter than the smallest player in the NFL. It was Wes Welker. He's 5'10".
I was going to say, do you give Johnny Manziel the midget to run for his money then?
I don't know. We're going to have to see what happens with him. It should be interesting.
It should, yeah, definitely. Right then, shall we sort of... Well, do we need to do a clock or anything, or just carry on nattering?
Let's just carry on. We don't need the clock, because that's annoying.
Cool. That's good. We'll mix it up this week. Yeah, it's that buzzer, isn't it? The buzzer drove you insane last time round.
Yeah, that's it. It could be worse. It could be Christmas music. But hey, what can you do?
Are you not a fan of Christmas, out of curiosity?
Oh no, I hate it.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'm the same.
I'm one of those. It's all I know is it's the holiday where you get to sleep for like 4 days.
I'm with you on that. Do you have much time off over Christmas?
No, not at all. So,
even more of a reason to hate things then.
Yeah, I prefer New Year's because at least New Year's I can watch all the college ball games.
Oh, right. Oh, Charlie, I've got a call from Ian, a Jets fan, so I can add him to the call if you like.
Yeah, go ahead.
Cool. Hello? Ian? Hello?
Hi, Mark. How are you?
I'm very well, Ian. Charlie's
Not too bad
already...
yourself.
I'm very well. I think... Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Right, you're both there. Biff's on video camera. How are you, Biff?
Not too bad yourself.
Good. Biff, or Ian, this is Charlie. Charlie, Ian.
Hi,
How
Charlie.
are you, dude?
Awesome stuff. So, Biff, have you come on to take on the fan versus fan out of curiosity?
I'm only in the door, so I don't know what's going on. I was ringing to wish you a happy Christmas.
All right, then. So, Biff, I'm going to throw you under the bus. Do you want to do the fan versus fan with Charlie? He's a Patriots fan.
He's a Pats fan.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Charlie, you up for that?
I've been called worse, but yeah, go ahead.
Right, then. So we know the drill. I don't know if you know Biff, but Charlie hails from Boston originally. He's over here now living in the UK. Has done for how long has it been, Charlie?
It'll be 21 years in April.
So 21 years. So Biff is from Ireland, so I'm not sure who's going to go first because I haven't got a coin. I'll let you pick, Charlie, if you want, heads or tails.
I'll give it to the underdog. He can go first.
Right then, a very informal, bizarre fan versus fan is going to take place. I'm not sure how this has come together, but Biff, if you want to...
accident, like all good stuff does.
Yeah. So that's praise then, good stuff.
Yeah.
I'll take that. Biff, if you, I'll give you 2 minutes, sir, if you want to just go for it. Tell us why you feel the Jets are going to win tonight.
All right. You ready?
If I can find the clock. I am ready.
Awesome.
Go.
Okay. Well, it's hard to pick the Jets to win tonight, but there's a lot of Pats big players out missing tonight. I don't know, I've got a feeling because it seems to be Rex Ryan's last home game in MetLife, and the players love him that much. I reckon he's going to go out with a bang today. The players are going to go hell for leather after the Pats. And I just think that...
What are you doing?
I just think that Brady's just going to find it too hard against the Jets because they're just going to be that hungry to stick up for their boss because they just love Rex. And I think with all these yellow flags that are flying around the place, fire Idzik, it's going to fuel the fire as well with the players. They're just going to play so hard for him. So I think it's going to be a Jets win.
Is that it, Biff? Any more? Or
Well...
You've got like 50
I can't
seconds.
really say much more because the Jets are going to just thump them.
Oh, fair enough.
Well, I give it to the Jets fans for wishful thinking.
Yeah,
as far as Rex Ryan's last hurrah, yes, we've all signed the "Enjoy Your New Job" card. That was sent off to MetLife this week with a bunch of flowers for him. I think the Jets' worst nightmare is that they'll sack him and they'll bring his brother in.
Oh,
that would be a total slap in the face. It's very difficult to say what's going to happen because, let's face it, you guys suck so bad this year. You can't decide who your quarterback is, and you've had issues with all of them. It's, I just wanted to go to one game against the Jets just to see Michael Vick, to hear all the Pats fans start chanting, "Who let the dogs out?"
oh.
But still, it's just ridiculous. I think the only thing the Jets have to look forward to is their first-round draft pick next year. And they're still going to have to outsuck the Raiders for that, and that's pretty hard. It's just going to be, yes, we don't have a lot of our main players in, but you got to look at Belichick's way of coaching when A is an in, B fits right in. It happened a few weeks ago. And that's the way the Patriots have always coached it. If your mainstay player isn't there, someone takes his place. So I have a feeling you'll be hearing from a lot of people that you haven't heard from in a while. Obviously, Gronk is still in. Obviously, Brady, you're still going to have Humanawa Nui. And, of course, Will Fork, Nate Solder. It's going to be, I think it's going to be an interesting game, but then again, I'm a New England sports fan, so I'm used to, defeat being clutched out of the jaws of victory. It brings back the memory of the year that the Dolphins only didn't win a single game until they played us. And everyone was saying, oh, it's going to be a walkthrough game. It's going to be easy. The Dolphins suck. And we still lost. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. It's going to be a fun game. It's going to be an entertaining game. And as I said before, it's probably going to be Rex Ryan's last game. So that makes me happy. And like I said to you on the phone before, Mark, I think he made the comment that wasn't going to get down on his knees and kiss Belichick's Super Bowl rings. Well, after tonight, I think he should, because it's the closest he'll ever get to them.
Yeah, I'm saying that, Charlie. He actually has a Super Bowl ring.
Suffering.
Yeah, it smells.
Oh dear, he's been on fire today, Charlie. I like it.
Yeah, it's been one of those days. I'm just looking forward to the game tonight. I really am, because God, I hate New York. So it's more of a home rivalry thing. It's like no matter where you are, New York sucks. And when you're in New York, it's always, oh, Boston sucks. So it's one of those things. But it's just been such a funny season this year that a lot of the teams that you expected to do well are already out of the running.
Yeah, it has been a strange topsy-turvy one, hasn't it?
Yeah, like last year was screwy because you had the referee strike at the beginning of the season, and the games, there were so many bad calls, it was ridiculous. And this year, it's just getting used to new things and how it's all working out. It's just been a really screwy season, especially with injuries.
Yeah, it's been, like I say, up and down, and like I say, those teams that have sort of fallen by the way early doors. It's been good. Biff, you got anything more to add to this? It's been a very bizarre and impromptu fan versus fan, in fairness.
Yeah,
but it's been fun.
Weekend, but I'm going to look forward to watching it.
Out of curiosity, Biff, there's a lot of rattling and stuff and that. What are you like in a wind tunnel?
No, I'm in the bedroom. I was moving around, trying to get comfortable.
Fair enough. Right then, guys, I've just put a tweet out there for vote for Biff, vote for Charlie. So we'll somehow try and pull this together at some point and hope it works. And I'll give you one. And I'll give one of you a ring at the end, if that's okay.
Yeah, no worries.
Charlie, you, sir, are a gentleman. I appreciate the banter every week, so I shall speak to you very soon.
Pleasure, my friend. Anytime.
And Biff, likewise, sir. I'll give you a ring back. Well, not a ring back, but I shall speak to you in a bit.
Yeah, sound.
Okay then, guys. Appreciate you coming on. I'll speak to one of you in a brief moment. And Merry Christmas to you both.
All right, take care. Thanks to you.
No problem. And that was a very, very bizarre fan versus fan. I'm really not sure how that came together. But yeah, it's just one of them shows. Anyway, vote for Charlie, #Charlie, #Biff. Get them tweets coming in. I have no idea what's going on today. It is, the Christmas spirit. Everyone seems to be in that sort of mood. Maybe a few bevies have been drunk, and it's, I'm baffled. I'm lost, totally thrown off by that entire segment. But Charlie, always a pleasure to talk to Charlie. As I do say, we have the banter going back and forth on there. And Biff as well, who rang up to wish me Merry Christmas, ended up taking part in fan versus fan. He'd got his actual camera on Skype, and it looked like he was wrestling stuff and just falling around the room. So Biff, appreciate the call, buddy. Let's get back. I'm completely lost. Fingers crossed, we should have some fantasy advice coming up at 5 o'clock from the guys at Dundee NFL. We will, let's get into the love line. We'll keep the bizarre theme going. It's been one of them. Get your tweets coming in to me. Let's jump to the love line. Welcome to the Zone Coverage Football Show Love Line. And that is the intro to the good old Love Line. If you are new to the show, Love Line, we're not setting people up on dates and stuff like that. It is pretty much echoing what myself and Tony, our earlier caller, were talking about in regards to the quarterbacks in all the glamour positions get the praise and the awards and stuff. So on the Love Line section, we take the opportunity, take a bit of time, and I've said this before, I can't name everyone's linemen and stuff like that. They are the unsung heroes that open up the holes for the running backs, protect the quarterbacks, and go and sack the quarterbacks and stuff like that. So it's our chance to give them a little bit of love, a little moment in the spotlight that is the Zone Coverage Football Show. And if you have people that you want to mention, nominate for this, feel free to just send that in to me at Zone Coverage FS. Our first person on this week's Love Line is Trent Williams. He is 6'5", 337 pounds, and an offensive tackle for the Washington Redskins. He was born in Longview, Texas. He attended the University of Oklahoma and played as college ball for the Sooners. He played both left and right tackle for the Sooners. He was considered one of the top prospects heading into the 2010 draft. And in the 2010 draft, he was selected in the first round, the 4th overall pick by the Washington Redskins. And during his time with the team, he started all but one game at 68 of 69, and he has been to the Pro Bowl on consecutive seasons in 2012 and 2013. So that is Trent Williams of the Washington Redskins. We salute your battle in the trenches there. On then to another tackle, this time Tyron Smith. He is also 6'5", 320 pounds, plays for the Dallas Cowboys. He was born in LA, attended and played for USC. Was drafted by the Cowboys in 2011. He was also a first-round pick, 9th overall. I do believe he was the first lineman off the board that year. He started every game during his rookie season at right tackle, allowing just one sack, and that's crazy statistic, put my teeth back in there, was enough to help him earn a trip to the Pro Bowl. He has played in 61 games, and he has started all 61 games. So that is Tyron Smith of the Dallas Cowboys and Trent Williams. We salute you guys, the unsung heroes of your respective teams, on this week's Love Line. Welcome to the Zone Coverage Football Show Love Line. And as mentioned, if you want to nominate one of your linemen for this feature, feel free to do so. You can tweet at me at Zone Coverage FS. You can also email the show if you want any sort of like suggestions or anything you want to just talk about in general. You want to be on Fan versus Fan in the upcoming weeks. We've only got next week to go, regular season wise, but I'm going to try and carry on through the playoffs. So it's a bit of a pain in the rear end at times trying to get people on. Obviously, everyone's very busy and stuff, so we'll try and fit another couple in as the season draws to its conclusion. So we've got, 2 minutes now until the, hopefully, Fantasy 5 at 5. We will also have Tom from Huddle Magazine on. I do believe he has sent me a text earlier saying that I am ready whenever you are, mate. So I don't think there's any trains or anything involved this week. So that's going to be good to catch up with Tom there. Yeah, just checking that. Yeah. So we have that coming up. Fingers crossed, Fantasy 5 at 5. The game previews, I'm going to have to start rattling them off, in fairness. Get everyone up to date with what is going on today. And the games, I'll just reel the games off first, in fairness. On Thursday night, we had the Titans at the Jags. The Jags won that one 21-13. The Eagles and the Redskins played last night, with the Redskins winning that one 27-24. And then we had a belting game during the early hours for us guys. The Chargers went to the 49ers and beat them in overtime. Yes, they emerged victors 38-35. The 49ers, I do believe, were 21 points up at the half. I've yet to watch that game. I've got it on the planner, so I'm going to watch that on probably Pigskin Monday. I'm having a whole day just watching back-to-back games. The wife is at work, so that's my Monday lined up. On then to today's games, we got the Vikings at Dolphins. We have the Ravens at Texans. The Lions at the Bears. We also have the Browns at the Panthers. We have the Falcons Saints and a huge game there. We have the Packers travelling to the Buccaneers. Our first game on Sky at 6 o'clock is the Chiefs at Steelers. That is a big game as well there. Obviously, we've been talking. It's been done to death this week. Apologies for the Jets talk if it's been a bit too much. But Pats and the Jets square off today. Rex's final home game. We have the Giants. And they travel to St. Louis to take on the Rams. We have the Bills, who can keep their playoff chances alive, in fairness. They travel to the Raiders to take on the Raiders, obviously. We then have your next game on Sky is the 9:25 game. We have the 10-4 Colts at the 10-4 Cowboys. And then the big game, and the NFC West, really. Channel 4, 1:30 a.m, 10-4 Seahawks, 11-3 Cards. Huge game. And then we have it on the Monday night on Eurosport. Again, 1:30 a.m, Monday night, Tuesday morning, however you look at that. It is the Broncos and the Bengals. So we should just check in. Twitter's going berserk. My phone's beeping randomly, so I would imagine you're picking them. Those notifications up on the microphone. Apologies, I don't know how to turn the sound off. It's a new phone. I can't do it. Right then. There's plenty of tweets coming in. Keep the votes coming in. Hashtag Charlie. Hashtag Biff. We'll check in on Spreaker. I do have a notification. First one of the day. Adam Vaughan asks. Perfect timing, Adam. I'll get to that in a minute. Hello, possibly Simon.
Hi, Mark. It's Simon, yeah.
How are you, sir?
I'm really, really good, thank you. How about yourself?
I'm very well. Before we get into this, I will send my apologies. I've not spoke to you all week. I've been busy, and I forgot to message you earlier to confirm that we were going ahead with this. So apologies my end, sir. No,
it's all right. So pretty much similar on my end as well, Mark, to be honest. So Christmas coming up, lots of very busy people about. So, yeah, same here, to be honest. But yeah, just in terms of fantasy, not a lot this week because I think most people's seasons will probably have ended now. So probably through my lack of good advice, I would imagine, over the last few weeks. But I think it's pretty much in most leagues it's finals. It's finals day, isn't it? Really? And have you reached any finals this year, Mark?
Yeah, we've had some banter earlier on. I'm actually in two tonight, so I'm getting a lot of grief because I'm commissioner in both of those leagues as well, so it looks really dodgy.
Yeah, nobody's shouting fix there then in that case.
Nobody at all.
All right, well we've got the big Dundee NFL final today. It's the Dynasty League, which is sort of the biggest one that we do, I think, really, where we can, it's the keeper league year in, year out, so it's the main one. I'm defending champion. For everybody out there who thinks I know nothing about fantasy football, then you're probably right in those points, to be honest. But for the second year running, I've managed to get to the final. Nice. I won it last year. And it's myself and Russell going head-to-head, actually, this time.
The battle of the pod.
It is, so it's a mistake on the lake, which is mine, for obvious reasons, being the Browns, being a mistake on the lake, and against Russell's Pewter Pirates. Now, after Thursday's and last night's games, Russell is currently leading with a score of 41.5 points to my 6. But then again, that's only my kicker that's actually played from last night. So some of Russell's got Antonio Gates, who did well from last night, to 21 points and 14 points out of Alfred Morris. So he's not doing too bad at the moment. So he's got quite a healthy lead. So I've got to crawl it back tonight. But I've got a decent enough side. I've got Andrew Luck, Mark Ingram, Le'Veon Bell, AJ Green, Calvin Johnson, Martellus Bennett, and I've got the Ravens defense in today because they're playing. Today, I can't remember who they play. Might be the Texans or something like that. I think they're playing, so I sure have some decent points out of them. So that's the battle really in terms of what I'm concerned with. So how's your teams doing, Matt? Have you got any points scored already, or have they're yet to play?
I honestly don't know. I've not checked. I've been I think I am behind in one. I think Alfred Morris played for one of the guys' teams. But I've just been really lazy today. I said at the top of the show I've been putting that, that Homer Simpson style, bum mark in the chair. I've been doing my best impression of that all day. I've been very, very lazy.
Yeah, not moving much.
Nothing at all, no.
No, I'm in a bit of a quandary actually. So I'll put it out there. Actually, I've got in obviously the big game of the weekend. I'm just talking about there. I've got Andrew Luck as quarterback now. That's Indianapolis and against Dallas, which I think is live on Sky Sports today. I think, if I'm not mistaken there.
Yeah.
But I've also got Tony Romo as well as a backup quarterback. So I just suppose it depends on whether people think how the game's going to go, really. What do you think in terms of Indianapolis and Dallas, Mark? And which quarterback would you say, either Romo or Luck, would get me the most fantasy points?
It's a tricky one, because for me, Luck's been a bit iffy. He's been starting slow the last few games, but on the flip side of that, prior to that, he's been outstanding. I think he was on for the record for most 300-yard games on the bounce.
He was.
So he's due a bounce back. Romo, for me, he's been very, very well. In fairness, it's a coin toss. It really is. Obviously, I don't know.
I'm just looking for somebody to blame. You see,
okay then. I'd start Luck.
Yeah, well, I've got him. He's in as my number one quarterback at the moment. But I just thought on the matchup, they just happened to be playing each other as well. And normally you're quite right. You'd go for Luck, wouldn't you, every time really? But like you say, I think it is a bit of a coin toss, isn't it, this time? So,
yeah, I'm basing that basically because the Cowboys D maybe a little worse than the Colts, and the Colts haven't got a running game, so they're going to rely on Luck maybe a little bit more. But then he's fumbling a lot of late. Oh, no.
I know, fumbling like Hilton too. Hilton, I'm not sure if he's playing today either. He's number one target, wide receiver. I'm not sure if he's been a little bit banged up, so it might be a last-minute decision, that, and it could sway it. But anyway, we shall see anyway. I think me and Russell have got a bottle of wine on it as well.
Nice.
So add a bit of extra interest anyway.
Talking of wine and booze, how was the trip up to Dundee and meeting the guys last week? How did that go? Any sort of fallout from that?
I really enjoyed it. Second time I've been up in sort of the space of a couple of months or so. So yeah, I met the guys up there. Everything was good apart from the actual American football on the television.
Yes.
I'm saying that because the Browns got hammered 30-0 by Cincinnati. So apart from that, which was a bit disappointing to say the least, we had a cracking time. We had a few beers, enjoyed each other's company. Just a shout out as well to Martin and to Russell, my colleagues on the podcast, but also one of our followers, Michael Donnelly, turned up. If you're listening, Michael, cheers. It was really, really good to see you. So yeah, it was great to see Michael as well, who happens to be a Cincinnati fan as well. So there's a bit of banter going on there as well. He left very happy. Me, not so much.
Brilliant.
So yeah, it was we had a great time, great evening. Watched a bit of ball, talked a lot of ball as well. So yeah, it was really, really good. Really enjoyed it.
Awesome. Glad you had a good time, mate. I've got a couple of questions coming via the Spreaker app if you want to answer those, if you don't mind.
Go on, then.
We have one from Adam Vaughan. He asks, is it worth starting DeMarco Murray tonight, considering the risk?
Yes, I'd say it depends who his backup is, of course, as well. But he's got a bit of a hand injury, hasn't he? Did he break his hand last week?
Yeah, he had surgery Monday, I do believe.
Yeah, but he's down. From what I've read today, he is active. I presume he will be playing. So yeah, again, it just depends on what your backup options are. But if you're really, really struggling for backup options, then definitely play him.
Yeah, brilliant. We also have John McDonald, our resident Vikings fan. He asks, is it start all Giants this week?
I'm never going to live that one down, are you?
No,
one of these days.
It did.
Yeah, why not? Start all your Giants.
Yeah.
Start all your Giants. And if you want 0 points, then just listen to me on that one.
In your defence, you did say last week, you got a feeling, start Eli Manning, and Odell Beckham went off 3 touchdown passes.
Yeah.
So there you
That's
go.
It. He was going to produce at some point, wasn't he? And he's been pretty poor all season as Eli. Let's be honest. But he has done for the last couple of seasons, really. So he was going to produce the goods at some point. So yeah, I just had that feeling, and it seemed to work out pretty well actually. If you've got those guys in your team.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Yeah.
That's all the questions we've got, just those two. So if we still got time, we've got 50 minutes until the games kick off, minus the games that have already gone on. So if people want to tweet, is that okay with you, Simon?
Yeah, absolutely. Either myself or my counterpart, Mr. Russell Duke, will be answering that on the Dundee NFL Twitter site. So yeah, everybody get out there, get your questions in, and look forward to getting some replies back to everybody.
Awesome stuff. So that is, get over to @Dundee NFL. Did you drop a pod this week? I've not updated my thing with not being at work.
Russell had a few injury issues, shall we say? So he couldn't.
Injury issues.
Yeah, we'll put it mildly, actually. So, but he's back to full health now. That's what you get. You see, I come all the way up from the northwest up to Dundee, and then he fails to show up for the podcast. So I must be doing something wrong there. But yeah, joking aside, he's back to full health. Is Russell, and we fully intend to drop a podcast later on. Well, I said later on. It'll probably be either Tuesday or Wednesday. Probably more likely to be Tuesday this week. So it should be a good laugh. We've got a bit to catch up on. So yeah, everybody out there, just look out for that.
Awesome. I have no idea what we're going to do next week with fantasy stuff.
Yeah, there's not going to be any, is there?
No. Maybe.
Although most people out there would probably say, well, there isn't much anyway, week on week. But
yeah, well, we'll figure something out going forward. We could just have a chinwag about stuff.
Of course we can.
Yeah,
of course we can.
That's
anytime.
Always good.
Yeah. It's just, I think it's really great just to talk to like-minded people, fellow NFL fans, about anything really, isn't it? About anything football related, and yeah, it's going to be the last week of the regular season, isn't it? Next week.
Yeah, it makes me sad.
So a few divisions and a few playoff places still to be sorted out in the AFC and the NFC. So it should be. Again, yeah, it should be a good discussion around that, I think.
Brilliant stuff. Simon, I always appreciate this, mate, jumping in this season and coming on board and helping the show get off on the right foot. I can't thank yourself, Martin, and Russell enough for doing that. It's very, very much appreciated, and I wish you all the best over Christmas and in the new year as well.
It's an absolute pleasure, Mark. It's been fantastic talking to yourself. You've done a great job bringing this to the eyes of the people in the UK. I think it's something that's obviously growing going forward, and it's just been an absolute pleasure to be associated with it. And I can only, on behalf of Martin, Russell, and John, and myself, just wish you and all your listeners a very Merry Christmas.
That is fantastic. You're going to have me welling up. Brilliant. I really appreciate it.
Look out for just one thing as well. Look out for another great wee man joke coming up on the podcast this week as well.
Brilliant. I'm glad to see it. Good to know that they're back, I should say.
Back with a bang, shall we say, this week.
Brilliant. I shall look forward to it, sir. Thank you.
All right, then. Cheers, Mark.
All right, Simon. Take care, buddy. Have a great Christmas.
Bye-bye now.
Cheers, mate. Bye. And that is Simon there from @Dundee NFL. So get your tweets in fantasy-wise @Dundee NFL on Twitter. Yeah, because if you're getting your tweets in, you'd be doing that via Twitter. Anyway, back to the fan versus fan. Fan versus fan has been the troops have rallied. All the Jets fans have sort of jumped on Biff there. So I'll sort that phone call out in a moment. We'll stop voting. It's just Twitter's gone berserk into all kinds of stuff. Rich Tinley @Tinley24 did ask what's happening in regards to the show going forward with obviously the playoffs and that coming up. Says, is next week the last show, or are you doing something for the playoffs? The show's going to carry on every Sunday, not throughout the entire year, but the plan is every week up until the Super Bowl, going to do a show. And then I might take maybe a week or two off after the Super Bowl. But I plan on doing one maybe once every 2 to 3 weeks. I've got some irons in the fire regarding the draft coming up. So I've got to iron out a few kinks with Matt Phillips, where he's writing a actual draft guide and stuff. He's got a book coming out. So we're going to get that going. So as soon as I've got more info on that, I shall let everyone know. So we'll figure that out. Then there's the draft. I've got an idea for the draft. I'm going to keep that under wraps at the moment, but just a live show revolving actually around the draft as it happens is an idea I've got. I've got to iron all the kinks out of that. So that's going to take you up towards April. And then we've got free agency, and we've got all sorts of stuff, reviews and grading and stuff. So, yeah, there's going to be plenty going on. And in, like, June or whatever, I might take, like, a 4 to 6 weeks, like, straight period off there, and then while I go away and stuff. And then it'll be back in August, pre-season, and then we'll do this merry dance all over again. So, plenty of irons in the fire moving forward, and I'm open to ideas, suggestions and stuff on features and that you guys like, dislike, and we'll rehash it all again next year and just go. But for the time being, it's going to carry on up until I'm not here. So don't worry about that. It's not just going to go January and bump, no more zone coverage. It'll keep going. So that is what I have on the cards going forward. Right then, what shall we do? Biff, you won this week's fan versus fan, so congrats there, sir. I'm going to be a rude host that I am. I'm not going to have chance to ring you back, in fairness. I want to have a chat with... mine's gone blank. Tom from Huddle Magazine. I've not spoke to Tom for about 3 weeks. So, Biff, you did win. I'll try and get you on the show next week if you want to do that. I'll congratulate you on that. Massive thanks for coming on, and I threw you under the bus on the feature, and you just rolled with it. So I tip my hat to you, Charlie. Charlie's Twitter handle is @YankeeTwat, I do believe. So hits up Charlie on that. Give him some banter going forward. So I appreciate Charlie coming on. Always a pleasure to talk to you, sir. Tinley24 again. He says great job to Simon at Dundee NFL. Great segment throughout the season. So. Much love going round. There's going to be tears and stuff the way we're going. It's all very sort of weird lovey-dovey stuff going on. I'm going to rattle through the game previews quickly, and then Tom, I'll get you on, Tom, in about 5 minutes' time. If I can rattle through these quick as. Right then, we have the 6-8 Vikings at the 7-7 Dolphins. The last 3 games between these two teams have been settled by 4 points or less. The Dolphins have won the last 2, and the Vikings last beat the Dolphins on December the 21st, 2002. The score was 2017. Miami Dolphins, are they the new Dallas Cowboys? They'll be looking to avoid their 3rd straight defeat. And when I say that, I mean as we get into December, the Cowboys, it's an ongoing joke. It's been put to bed now this season. But the Dolphins, in with a chance, December, 4 pieces, 8-8, 8-8. So that's where I'm getting that from. I said, what is it now? Yeah, Dolphins have lost 3 on the bounce. It looks increasingly likely that Joe Philbin will have a job in Miami next year. Ryan Tannehill, he's definitely improved. He's on course to post a career high in completion percentage. He's again, it's the deep ball and holding on to the ball too long. And I said last week in regards to the Vikings, great young team, Teddy Bridgewater, the gloved wonder, he's shown flashes, and I'm intrigued to see how Teddy gets on next year, how he progresses. Again, the Vikings need some help at the skill positions, in fairness. Only wide receiver Greg Jennings is the only one to gone over 600 yards receiving this year. So, the Vikings, the future is bright for you guys. On then to the 9-5 Ravens at the 7-7 Texans. The Texans have beaten the Ravens just once in the last 7 meetings. That was a 43-13 victory back in October 2012. The Ravens can secure a playoff place today if they win and both the Steelers and Bengals lose. The Texans, I did say earlier on, they've got to choose between Case Keenum and Thad Lewis, if injuries have decimated the quarterback position over the last few weeks. Whoever makes the start, they'd be wise to feed Andre Hopkins. Both Hopkins and Johnson have 69 receptions each, but with Hopkins' 69 receptions, he's amassed 430 yards more than Johnson. The league MVP, according to me and everyone that listens to the show, J.J. Watt has 7 sacks in his last 3 games. Both running back Justin Forsett and tight end Owen Daniels face their former team with a point to prove. Forsett averages a league high of 5.4 yards per carry. Right then, on to the 10-4 Lions at the 5-9 Chicago Bears. The Bears have benched Jay Cutler. Jimmy Clausen gets the nod there. Mark Trestman's looking to save face during what may be his last 2 games of the season. The Bears have lost their last 3 against the Lions, including a beatdown back on Thanksgiving. That was a catalyst for their offensive production. It went up through the roof. However, they've struggled over the course of the last few weeks, have the Lions. Last week, the Vikings pushed them very close. And it was the saviour, once again, that defence of the Lions. The self-proclaimed best safety duo in Diggs and Glover Quinn. They could give Clawson a bit of a rough afternoon, in fairness. For the Bears, they've been quite possibly the most disappointing team within the NFL. They lack any creativity in offense and defensively rank 30th overall. That pretty much tells you all you need to know. Right then, Browns Panthers. Yeah, Johnny Manziel looks to make huge strides in this game. To me and you, that's just a regular stride. Anyway, as the Browns, they look to end a 3-game losing streak. Joking aside, it'll be interesting to see how Manziel copes in. Can he bounce back? Can he show some of that bounce back ability? Running back Jonathan Stewart will be licking his lips at the prospect of going up against this poor run defense. The second best tight end in football, good old Greg Olsen, needs just 40 yards to go over the 1,000-yard receiving mark for the first time in his career. And like Olsen, rookie wide receiver Kelvin Benjamin can surpass the 1,000-yard mark today with another 48 yards. Couple more. I should get through these as quick as I can because I'm talking through to Tom. I might have to cut these short, in fairness. It's a shame. And the 5-9 Falcons travel to the 6-8 Saints in the NFC toilet bowl battle for supremacy here. It goes like this. The Falcons can win the division if they beat the Saints today and then the Panthers next week. The Saints can wrap up the division if they win and the Panthers lose. Julio Jones is once again a game-time decision. Harry Douglas will quite possibly fill that void this week. I do believe he's struggling. He got 123 yards last week against the Steelers. Could be a potential shootout as both teams are ranked in the bottom 4 in overall defense. The Falcons 29th, the Saints dead last. Saints have lost their last 4 home games. And as for the Falcons, they've already beaten both fellow NFC South Division rivals, the Panthers and Bucs, on the road this season. Yeah, I've got time. Let's rattle through a few more of these. Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, 10-4, go to the 2-12 Bucs. Rodgers threw 25 incompletions last week. That was a career high for him against that amazing Buffalo defense. All of Aaron Rodgers' 5... I've written that down wrong. Interceptions have come in road games, although I'd expect him to bounce back this week. There was actually a muscle hamster sighting last week as Doug Martin rushed for 96 yards. Mike Evans got what's fast becoming a customary touchdown. He's got 11 on the season so far. Running back Eddie Lacy, he needs just 60 more yards to break the 1,000-yard mark for the second consecutive year. He is, however, listed as probable. He's got an eye issue, so we'll see what happens there. Hopefully Tom can shed some light on that in a moment. Your game on Sky is the 8-6 Chiefs at the 9-5 Steelers. We know Jets and Pats. Giants, Rams, we have the 8-6 Bills at the 2-12 Raiders, 10-4 Colts at the 10-4 Cowboys. That is your Sky game, 9:25. 10-4 Seahawks, 11-3 Cards, Channel 4 game. Monday is your Broncos, Bengals. I'm going to have to cut them previews late. As Tom, feel free to ring in, buddy. If we can get Tom on the line, got 8 minutes to go. And what has been fast become a frantic show. So, yeah. Thanks for all the tweets and everything, guys. It's been going absolutely berserk on Twitter today. I think it's been the craziest Twitter show ever. Somehow I've thrown it together. I don't know if it's come across good, bad, or whatever, but there's a lot of banter going on. Charlie's tweeted and says, he votes for me. #Charlie. Brilliant. Right then, just waiting Tom's call. Last 7 minutes of the show. Wrap this up. Got a nice big pork joint in the dinner. Going to sit down and watch the games in a moment. So we are waiting a phone call from Tom. In the meantime, you know by now, Twitter, Zone Coverage FS, get to the website, zonecoveragefootballshow.com. Email me, zonecoveragefootballshow@mail.com. And, take down the number if you want for the next week's show, 01618184593. I will be doing the Wednesday walkthrough once again on Wednesday, so as I did say, Christmas Eve, chuck the kids out the way and listen to the show. We'll get to that in a minute. Here's Tom. Hello, Tom.
Hello, Mark. How are you?
Very flustered. We're having a hectic sort of thrown together show, in fairness, mate. But that aside, how the hell are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I've been listening while I've obviously been collecting some news and doing a little bit of work. So I've kind of been listening on and off to how things have been going. So yeah, I'm good. No train travel today.
Yeah, it sounds relatively quiet. No tunnels and stuff to battle. So Skype might hold up this week. That's good.
Yeah, Skype may be working for us this week. So all's good. Just the dog to contend with as she's coming mithering me. She's a pain, absolute pain. But yeah, as I say, all good this week. It's been 3 weeks since we last chatted, since I was last on.
Yeah, I can't believe it's actually been 3 weeks. In fairness, it's just absolutely flown by. You sort of blink and you're midweek, you blink again, the week's gone, another show, and it's been madness, mate.
I mean, for me, it's just been all the relocation that we're in the middle of at the moment. So, like, moving from Scotland to the southeast of England, it's just been one thing after another, work on top of work. I mean, as a magazine, we've been having a few technology problems with that as well, so that's just added even more pressure into it. So
yeah, it's the last sort of thing you need, don't you, when you've got all that sort of stuff going on.
It's just one of those things that, I mean, some of those technological issues are still not resolved. It's just causing me nightmares, but it's just a matter of keep plugging away, try and keep these things sorted. And I mean, Yodel haven't helped in their delivery issues that they've been having as well, in terms of our print issues going out. So, you know, if it's not one thing, it's the other.
Yeah, it's not what you need, is it?
No, it's not at all.
Right then, buddy, shall we get into some news? What have you got for us today?
We'll start with Cleveland at Carolina. Obviously, Johnny Manziel, the big talking point, whether he can actually do anything this week. But, I mean, away from that, Joe Hayden has injured his shoulder last week, and he's been out testing his body today. It looks like he's good to go. Cam Newton for the Panthers, they're not wanting to put Cam in too much of harm's way, so Joe Hayden's going to be, whether he plays or not, really, the Panthers are looking at that as being potentially a big problem for him. They expect to go mobile and on the ground against the NFL's 31st ranked defence in the run game, so expect Cam to, if he's out there, to be trying to be mobile. How much of that he'll be able to do after the car accident, it will be interesting to see how quickly he's recovered.
Yep.
Moving on to Indianapolis at Dallas. DeMarco Murray is determined to get back on the field. He's listed as a game time decision, but the latest I've just heard before I come on to you is that he will play. But expect some of the backups to take some of the load off him. Zach Martin, right guard, and Tyrod Smith, right tackle, are both questionable, so that'll have a big impact on how they're able to protect the quarterback. And in terms of the Colts, T.Y. Hilton's questionable with a left hamstring injury that he's been struggling in practice with all week. In fact, he hasn't practiced all week. And Chuck Pagano's come out and said that he won't rule out resting any players. They've already clinched a playoff berth, and if needs be, he'll sit players to make sure they're healthy for the playoffs. Baltimore at Houston. After a workout this morning, DeAndre Hopkins will play from a source at the Texans, and Case Keenum will be your starting quarterback today for the Texans. Also, expect Arian Foster to have a heavy workload as they look to go to the ground game to ensure that they give Keenum the best possible chance of starting well in his first start of this season. Justin Forsett has been speaking about J.J. Watt. Saying that if Watt flashes or gets past the line, he's going to need to step up and be big in the blocking game to ensure that he's able to protect Flacco. They really see that protecting Flacco is the key to this game. Obviously, they're hunting down trying to win this AFC North division, so a big game for Baltimore against a Texans team who really can't achieve much. So it could be interesting, other than the Texans really wanting to just hurt the Ravens' playoff chances. Over in Atlanta, Julio Jones is active today and will play.
Oh, that's good.
He's been out running Wednesday and yesterday to build up his pain tolerance, and he is definitely going to play today. Safety William Moore's also back, as is wideout Harry Douglas. They're both active today. Bryce Ellis will come in to protect Drew Brees' blind side for the New Orleans Saints. But yeah, Julio Jones is the big news that's coming out of that game. He's, as I say, they're saying that he's starting. Kansas City at Pittsburgh. Todd Haley's been talking up that they haven't faced a defence tougher than the one that they're going to face today. And Heath Miller's basically said if they want to come after the quarterback, then the Steelers will just run the ball on him. And if they decide to stack the box, then Big Ben's just going to throw the ball on him. Basically, what Heath Miller believes is that there's no way that Kansas City's defense can stop Pittsburgh. We'll see about that, because there are many a team that they've been very nasty to. So
yeah,
we'll see how that goes. In terms of Pittsburgh's defense themselves, both Ike Taylor and Troy Polamalu are out. Marcus Gilbert at right tackle will return. James Harrison's back as well, and this will be the first time since week 3 that Pittsburgh have had a full complement of linebackers. So it could be interesting to see how all that pans out, especially with Polamalu out and Taylor. But that's shaping up to be quite a good game, actually. I mean, I was looking at potentially watching the Cleveland-Carolina game, but Kansas City and Pittsburgh's really interesting me. And moving on to your New York Jets facing New England, Mohamed Wilkerson will play today. Basically, Bill Belichick is 8-12 facing Rex Ryan, and Rex Ryan has described Bill Belichick as a Hall of Fame. Belichick took that in his usual way by saying it's a nice compliment, but he thinks that Rex is buttering him up.
All right.
So, regardless of a nice compliment, Bill Belichick's not falling for it. So, yeah, that's all the news that I've got. So hopefully that answers some of the questions. I heard you were asking about who was going to start in the Texans game.
Yeah.
Obviously, Case Keenum's that guy, so that kind of answers a question for you. And I think the Julio Jones news is obviously quite big news coming out of New Orleans, and what could be the game that decides the who's going to go to the playoffs out of that division, I actually think. So, I mean, the Panthers, it's all down to whether Cam Newton's really that hurt.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting game. There's loads of games with just a lot on the line this week, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, as I say, I was looking at Cleveland, and I was also looking at that Atlanta game. As I said to you when we were at Wembley, I've kind of got, after watching Hard Knocks, I've kind of got a little bit of a soft spot for the Falcons. I mean, I'd never root for them against the Jaguars, obviously, but I kind of want to see them do all right after watching Hard Knocks. So I'm kind of rooting for them to win out in what's possibly the worst division in football and at least get to the postseason. So I'm kind of interested in that game as well. I mean, obviously, Jaguars are not playing today after our victory on Thursday night.
Yeah, nice to get another win for you guys under the belt.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, I kind of expected it against the Titans.
Yeah, Titans have totally given up, haven't they?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's understandable. They're kind of, Jake Locker's hurt again. You know, they don't. They're through another quarterback, so they're stuck with Charlie Whitehurst. They don't really have much going on, do they? I mean, no. I think they're probably already in postseason mode, if I'm honest.
Yeah, definitely. It's looking that way, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's a shame, really, because I mean, I know how that feels. You know, I know, and you know, obviously, we're all just looking to the draft now, and it's kind of rubbish when you get into sort of midway through the season and you already know that you've got nothing to play for, and the season might as well just end there.
Yeah, it's brutal. I'm with you on that.
So it's one of them things. They'll just have to ensure that they draft well with possibly a high draft pick. I mean, I'm not even sure where they're sitting at the moment in terms of where their draft pick could be, but it's going to be a high one for them. I think they're probably going to go quarterback, I would think.
Yeah, you'd expect so.
Well,
it'd be the sensible move.
Well, it's the biggest position in need, isn't it? I mean, I can well foresee the Jaguars trading with someone for our first round pick. I mean, we're really in the market for receivers, I think, in our team. But what we need more than anything is to start protecting Blake Bortles. I don't think with as high a pick we're going to have that there's currently someone. I mean, unless through the scouting combine and through pro days and stuff, someone stands out a mile. I don't think there's any one offensive lineman that we could take in the top 5 at the moment. So It'll be interesting to see what Gus Bradley and Dave Caldwell do on that front. But I mean, other than that, I suppose we just need to go for Amari Cooper if we're stuck picking at that sort of stage of the draft.
Nice, that'd be a good addition as well.
Well, I mean, that's the way I see it. I think, really, you look at the teams that are going to go above us. I can't see the Raiders being in the market for... Well, I suppose they are in the market for a receiver, but I think they've got bigger positions of need at the moment. So, I mean, I think it leaves it wide open for us to pick up a receiver of Cooper's quality. But there are going to be plenty of teams that are going to want to trade up for him as well. So, it could be interesting either way. But... That's where my hope is. We'll either pick Amari Cooper or we'll trade down and pick a really good offensive lineman to start protecting Bortles and giving him what he needs to start playing the game that we know he can play.
Right, that's awesome stuff, Tom. I'm going to have to be... it's been 3 weeks, so my rudeness is probably long overdue. I've got a text message saying dinner's nearly ready. So I have to... disappear sharpish. But before I go, mate, I just wanted to again just take the opportunity to say thanks for coming on the show while it got its found its legs and everything, and just a Merry Christmas to you, mate, and to the family as well.
Yeah, same to you, mate. Same to you and the missus, and hope you have a good one. And in the new year, hopefully things will be prosperous for all of us, not only in football but just in general. So yeah. Like I say, I appreciate the opportunity to come on. I like it. Obviously, I sit and watch the news each week anyway, so it's great for me to be able to just come on, give that news out to people, and have a chat.
Yeah, it's great stuff, mate. I really, really appreciate it. It saves me, to be honest, because I was reeling off stats last week, and Julio Jones wasn't even playing. So I like to write fool.
Well, it's not 100% every time, but I try and keep it as much as I can. As accurate as I can and try and, we've brought a few scoops this season so far. So.
Yeah, we've not done too bad, for a debut season, so it's all good.
We got. I think the biggest one was Arian Foster not playing 1 week, so we've done quite well in terms of scoops. I did quite well with Texans news actually.
Yeah,
bizarrely. I don't know why we do so well with Texans news, but the Texans seem to be quite forthcoming with some good news for us. So maybe they see our value.
Yeah, maybe. Right then, Tom, I really, really appreciate it, mate. Have an absolutely fantastic Christmas, and I will speak to you next week if you're around.
Yeah, I will be, definitely. So, I'll speak to you next week, mate.
Brilliant, buddy. I'm off work now, so I'll be able to drop you a few texts and that going forward. So I won't be as rude and as ignorant as I usually am during the week.
No problem, mate. No problem.
All right then, buddy. Take care. Everyone go over to at Huddle Magazine on Twitter and huddlemagazine.com.
All right, thanks for that, Mark, and thanks to everyone for listening and supporting us for the year. So, cheerio, and thanks for that. Bye.
Anytime, Tom. Take care, buddy. Speak to you soon. Right then, that is Tom from Huddle Magazine. I am running 7 minutes over. You're getting your money's worth this week, considering it's free. Yeah, stupid statement. Anyway, I am done and dusted. Dinner is done. The wife's messaged me. I'm going to sit on my fat rear end, enjoy yet another fantastic week of pigskin. Apologies that I couldn't get through the whole of the game reviews. In fairness, I do write them down just in case no one calls up. A very impromptu and thrown together fan versus fan this week. Biff, I were through under the bus, and Charlie as well. Really appreciate you guys coming on. Tony Peckham, who rung earlier. A lot of Jets talk this week. Apologies if that's not your thing, but it's going to happen every now and again. Just how the cookie crumbles, so they say. But that is another show done, dusted, wrapped up. I will give you the Wednesday walkthrough on Wednesday. I'll give you the time and that. It's going to be around about between 2 and 3 o'clock, maybe 2:30 as last week. Be for about an hour, something like that. So as soon as I know what the plans are, I will get that information out to you. Twitter's gone absolutely berserk today. I will just go and eat, and I'll try and answer every tweet as we go throughout the rest of this Sunday. A massive, massive thank you to everyone that's listened since I started this venture off back in August. I've got nothing but a lot of love and respect for everyone that sort of tweeted at the show, phoned in, and just spread the word and sort of embraced it and helped it to grow. So I wish you all the very best. Have an absolutely fantastic Christmas. This has been a very, very soppy podcast. What is going on here? But yeah, that side, have a great Christmas, great New Year. I shall speak to you all next Sunday. Enjoy it, and what do I say now? Hustle, hit, and never quit. There we go.
Thank you for tuning in to today's show. Unable to listen live? We've got that covered. Simply search the Zone Coverage Football Show in either iTunes or Stitcher Radio. And don't forget to subscribe. All our shows and details on how to call into the show can be found on the website www.zonecoveragefootballshow.com.